Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Moss and I am a lecturer in English for Tourism at the Faculty of Tourism here at the University of A Coruña in Galicia in northwest Spain. I'm going to talk to you briefly about the language tandem project that we have with the University of Reading, a little bit about the objectives and the outcomes and why we consider this to be a useful and important project for you. I'd like to thank, of course, my colleague Oscar Garcia for all of his help in setting up this project. The idea behind the language tandem is to give students of Spanish in Reading, in the UK, the opportunity to practice their Spanish language skills with Spanish students in Spain, of course. I know that this is really important for you, probably for your year out, not for your year abroad. And also for my students, for the students of tourism, obviously English is a fundamental language for their profession, together with other languages, of course. And so for them, it's the opportunity for them to practice their oral skills. We don't sometimes have enough time in the classroom to do as much speaking practice as, of course, we would like. And so I consider this to be an excellent opportunity for my students to be able to practice their English language skills, and also speaking to young people of their own age, people who share lots of things with them as well, and maybe as well to explore some of the differences. For my students of tourism, even though they're not going to be going on a year abroad, they do have to do a series of work placements, a series of internships, where obviously English is going to be one of the languages, one of the tools that their needs are going to be working in. And in fact, one of the outcomes, one of the competences of the degree is to be able to work in English. So obviously they need to be able to reach a degree of considerable fluency, right, in their spoken skills, also in the other skills as well, naturally. For us as well, it's a great opportunity to explore the differences and similarities between life in this part of Spain, which is not what we would understand as typical Spain, and life in the UK, and especially as well, for example, the differences between university life for UK students and for Spanish students. It's your opportunity. It's really important, obviously, when you are studying a language, to understand and to learn about the culture of the country, or the countries, or the people that you are, of the language that you're learning. In the case of Reading and in the case of Galicia, there are big differences between the two places, obviously, and the two lifestyles that I'm sure you'll be able to explore. So it's a question of understanding as well the cultural differences, but also the similarities. And of course, Reading and Coruña do share something which is quite important, is that they are both places on the Camino Inglés, right, which is the pilgrimage route to Santiago de Compostela, which is just 60 kilometers away from where we are. So these are cities that with lots of differences, but also a very important point that joins them together, which is the fact that they are both places, stopping points on the Camino Inglés, the Camino de Santiago. So this is a cultural point, it's a cultural element that joins us together. So the idea behind the project is that you will be able to meet, right, a minimum of 4 times between now and Christmas and the Christmas break with your partner. We will be sending you the Excel sheet with the name of your partner and with their email address, so that you can contact them and arrange to meet 4 times between now and Christmas, as I said. The idea is to have a conversation when you can discuss anything you want, of course, right, to get to know each other. Although we will also be sending you a document that I'm going to tell you a little bit about in a moment, with some guidelines, with things that you can talk about in those 4 sessions. So the idea is for you to get together, right, those 4 times, via any platform that you consider to be useful or to be appropriate. You can use Microsoft Teams, you can use Google Hangouts, you can use Zoom, you can use the video calls with WhatsApp, anything you want. And the idea is that you get together on these 4 occasions and you have a conversation, half of the time in Spanish and the other half of the time in English. So that way, everybody gets to practice their language skills, and also you can help your partners with their vocabulary, maybe help them with some structures, with some grammatical errors that they may be making, and also, of course, something important as well, helping them a little bit with their pronunciation. Okay. So the idea is that the first time that you meet, which will be between the 26th of October and more or less the 4th of November, obviously the first session is going to be a breaking the ice session, no? Rompiendo el hielo, and then maybe talking about the differences between being a university student in the UK and Spain. There are some guidelines on the documents, right? But things that maybe are of interest to you, like how long are degree courses in the UK and how long are degree courses in Spain? How much do they cost? This is always an important point, right? Do you study at home or do you study away from home, right? What's the learning methods? How do you learn at university? What are the lectures? What's a lecture like in Spain and what's a lecture like in Reading, for example? And then talk about your year abroad in the case of the Reading students, and maybe the internships, the work placements that the Spanish students have to do. Then in the second session, right, which will be for the next fortnight until the 18th of November, then apart from studying, right, the things that you like to do, things that young people do in Spain and things that young people do in the UK in their free time, these kinds of things and your interests. Maybe some of you have a job apart from studying, maybe you're combining that, so that would be interesting to talk about the possibilities, right, for students in both countries of working and studying at the same time. And then the next section, which would go until the 2nd of December, what happens, what are you planning to do, or what are your possibilities, what are your opportunities after university? For example, this idea of the gap year, which is very common in the UK, but not so common in Spain. Are you going to have a change of direction? Are you going to continue studying? What happens? Is it easy to get a job, for example, in Spain or in the UK? And what about becoming independent? This is obviously as well a big question. And then the final session, talk a little bit about what's it like where you are, right? This will be until the 16th of December, okay? Talking about the place where you live, or the place where you come from, the people, the good things, the bad things, the surprising things, the stereotypes. For example, here in A Coruña, we are not at all like typical Spain, the things that we imagine with the stereotyped images of Spain, etc. And then maybe try and encourage your partner to come and visit, right? To come and visit this part of Spain, or to go and visit your part of the UK. So that's the idea, right? So with these 4 sessions, which ideally should last at least 40 minutes, right? So do you have a 20 minutes speaking in Spanish and 20 minutes speaking in English? So this would be an opportunity, and hopefully, of course, that they would last much longer, or that you would even, like, the 4 sessions are the minimum that we would ask for. But it would be great if you feel that you could talk for like every week. That would be fantastic. And of course, apart from these things, these basic guidelines that we're giving you, you can talk about anything that you would like to, of course. All right. But at least 4 times, that would be our minimum. And then at the end of the session, if you could send us, Oscar and I will be giving the Spanish and UK students the way of sending us this information, but we would like a short report telling us when you met, how long you met for, how you met, whether it was Google or whether it was Microsoft Teams or whatever. And then basically, what were your key impressions, right? What was the thing that perhaps most surprised you about the things that you were talking about? I don't know quite what happened there, but okay. And so the things that surprised you, right? These kinds of things. And that's it, basically. And in the case, if you complete the 4 sessions, obviously at the end of the 4 sessions in December, we will have a kind of like a feedback session as well. We will give you a survey where we would like to see how you thought the experience went. And then, of course, to continue it as well in the second semester. This will be ideal, okay? And I think that's just about it. I'm very pleased that we're able to do this. It's a great opportunity for us here at the University of A Coruña to be able to collaborate with the University of Reading, and I really hope that that will be successful. So we will be sending you the information with your tandems and with the documents, etc., in the very near future, so you can get going. And any questions you can write to myself or to Oscar. And I hope you really enjoy the experience, and it's been very nice talking to you. Okay, bye bye.
Hola, pues la verdad es que Sara ha explicado muy bien en qué consiste este proyecto y no tengo mucho más que añadir, salvo quizás presentarme. Me llamo Óscar García y soy profesor de lengua española en el Departamento de Lenguas y Culturas de la Universidad de Reading. Reading es una ciudad que está al oeste de Londres, no estamos muy lejos, a unos 20 minutos en tren, y también interesantemente, y como ha dicho Sara, pues pertenecemos al camino inglés del Camino de Santiago. Y yo soy de Burgos, que como sabréis muchos de España, pues es parte también del Camino de Santiago. Para nosotros es un proyecto también muy interesante para nuestros estudiantes, porque les da la oportunidad de practicar español fuera de las horas de clase y de conocer y hablar, interactuar con nativos. Nuestros estudiantes pues son de primero, de segundo y de último año de carrera, y pertenecen pues a varias carreras. Tenemos estudiantes de varios idiomas, estudiantes de español con empresariales, o de español con literatura, español con lingüística, español con historia, creo, pero en fin, que tenemos una buena variedad. Y intentaremos, pues eso, lo antes posible poneros en contacto ya con vuestro compañero o compañera para que empecéis a practicar en esas 4 sesiones, que pueden ser más, por supuesto, si queréis seguir practicando. Pero lo básico son esas 4 sesiones con los temas que os indicaremos. Y nada, pues espero que disfrutéis de este proyecto, y cualquier pregunta, por favor, poneros en contacto conmigo o con Sara. Hasta pronto.